It's now time for NRG This Week. NRG stands for Network Referral Group. To learn more about NRG, go to their website, nrg.online. It's now time for another episode of NRG This Week.
Hey everybody, Mike Weiner here, NRG This Week, our first episode of 2026. My quote for the year, 2026 is going to be epic. So, get my voice back. Leon Thomas is not with me today. I'm going to be a solo act. If you haven't been out to an NRG meeting, I encourage you, get a hold of me. We are starting our 26th year. I am the Cal Ripken of networking. There you go for the Oriole fans out there. So we also have an extravaganza coming up March 6, 2026. It'll be from 1 to 4 p.m. Eastern. You definitely want to attend that. We'll have breakout rooms, a keynote speaker, corporate sponsorships. If you're interested, reach out. My cell number, 443-756 9656, and my website is nrg.online. My email is mike@networkreferralgroup.com. So I'm really excited today. We're going to have Teresa aboard. Teresa, I'm going to bring you in, and you are one of our newest members, and you got a lot of charisma about you. There's me being Jewish, I'm going to throw a Jewish term at you. You got a lot of chutzpah. Chutzpah means energy, pop. So that's all good there. So, Teresa, welcome. It's great to have you out here. How are you today?
I'm doing well, Mike. Thank you so much. And welcome everyone to 2026.
Amen. Amen. 2025 was great. 2026 is going to be even better. So, absolutely. Teresa, I'm gonna ask you some questions.
Sure.
Give us like 2 or 3 minutes so I can delve in a little bit deeper. But I really want everyone to get to know you, and we're doing this live, and then it's also being recorded. Teresa, tell us a little bit about what you do. And you and I met, I think, in November. You joined pretty soon after.
Correct.
I loved your energy. You and I vibrated a high level, law of attraction. And, when you want to do more in life, you got to resonate at a high level. But take 2-3 minutes, talk a little bit about what you do, Teresa.
Sure. Thank you so much, Mike, for having me here. My brand is the Mailbox Maven, and what I do is direct mail marketing. And I'd like to joke that we are outsmarting the inbox, one mailbox at a time. So I work with businesses, entrepreneurs, sales professionals to really help them stand out in a digital crowded world, really. And I do that by showing them how that works in going into a mailbox as opposed to an inbox. So digital is fast, right? Tangible is felt. And that's what I do, is I talk about and work with folks who are looking to level up their direct mail marketing.
Awesome, Teresa. Thank you. How many years have you been doing this now?
So my own company has been around for, I want to say, about 4 or 5 years. And then it's rebranded itself a couple of times, but we are now definitely the Mailbox Maven. And I got started in direct mail when I was in higher education sales and marketing. That was my career for over 2 decades. And wow. I know, right? I'm really aging myself here. But so in that space, when I first started back in 2001, it was really, really crowded. There were a lot of people. I had a lot of people playing in my sandbox, so to speak. And the way that I differentiated, the way that the company that I work for differentiated, was we every time we met with a client or renewed a campaign or got someone signed on, we would send a handwritten thank you card. So those relationships grew. Of course, I used digital as well. I used email. I use direct mail marketing to this day to augment digital efforts. So anyway, fast forward to about 8 years into the business, if not, maybe not quite that much, I had a lot of clients. So I was bringing in about $800,000 in sales a year. The average sale was anywhere between 15 and 20,000. So I was doing a lot of thank you cards, right?
Yeah.
And then I discovered technology can do the same thing and do it better. And so I latched onto it. And what I found was that people were really interested in knowing how I did what I did. How did I send them that card with their picture on it? And oh my gosh, those gourmet brownies, and the wrapper had our picture on it from our meeting. How did that happen? So things like that. Personalization was huge. And I stood out from the crowd. And that's how I was able to bring in that $800,000 annually for that business. And so I thought, "Oh my gosh, if I can do that for somebody else, I can do that
Right.
for myself."
Was that send out cards or no? Because it sounded very similar to that.
I started off with send out cards, and
Okay.
then I was with them for about 9 years, and then I jumped ship. So my brand is now powered by a company called Mailbox Power,
Yeah.
and ironically, that company was built by ex Send Out Cards people. So don't get me wrong, Send Out Cards puts out a great product. They sincerely do. Mailbox Power, so if you're comparing the two, you're looking at Send Out Cards, which is a customized greeting card and gifting company, whereas Mailbox Power is a direct mail sales and marketing platform.
Gotcha. Awesome. No, appreciate you explaining that. 800,000. That's a
Yes.
lot of money.
Mhm.
How did you motivate? And this is for the viewing audience because
Sure.
I've got some ideas, but I'm always like a sponge. I learn more. If you teach me one thing, I'm happy. How did you motivate yourself to do $800,000 year after year? Because that's a phenomenal number. And I remember when you said that, and I'm not your coach or whatever. We networked together, but I
Sure.
was so proud of you for doing that.
Yeah.
But how did you motivate yourself, Teresa, to hit those kind of amazing numbers?
I was blessed when I first started in sales to work with a gentleman who literally rolled out the red carpet for sales. And he said, "T, I can roll out the red carpet, but you're going to have to walk it." And what he meant was that I can give you the tools and the resources to really make this successful, but you have to grasp onto it and use it. So, what are those tools, right? Um, I never knew about, you know, personal and professional development. What was that, right? So my first experience was that with Og Mandino. He
Uh,
wrote a really great book, and then I started to read his things, and then I latched on to Tony Robbins, and he all these mentors that I had that they didn't know they were my mentors, and then attended programs like the Dale Carnegie training, just so many trainings and books and videos. So I just kept learning and learning and surrounding myself with people who are actually doing better than me. And then I asked, "How did you do that? What are you doing? Would you be willing to share?" And they did. You ask and they shared, "This is how I've been doing this." And it was really, really powerful.
Og, Tony, Dale. Now I know why you and I resonate so well because I've read all these books.
Mhm.
I got to tell you a quick story. Right
Sure.
after the recession, my NRG was struggling, and my
Oh,
VP and I drove to New York. I forgot the name of the place. It's a big facility. Tony Robbins was there. 30 minutes of Tony Robbins, and I was motivated again. It was amazing. That guy is phenomenal.
yep, he really is. And I actually so I don't know if I'll find it on YouTube, but years ago I think it was in 2008, Tony or 9, it was 2009. Tony was going to be in Toronto doing the Unleash the Power Within seminar or workshops that he does.
Yep.
And he put it out there that he's going to select 3 people and he'll pay for them to go to this event. But you had to have someone else do a video of why he should select you, right? So at that time, my boss did a video, submitted it, and guess what? Tony Robbins picked me. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you got to go.
I got to go. I went to Toronto and was at the seminar. I did the fire walk. I got to hang out with Tony backstage.
Wow.
And yeah. And it was cool. And you talk about motivation, right? I knew I was going to meet Tony backstage, right? And the fire walk was optional. You didn't have to do it, right? But I thought, oh my gosh, if I go and meet him backstage and I haven't done the fire walk, how am I going to look this man in the eyes, right? And say, oh,
that's
I did.
Hilarious. That's funny. That's funny. Well, you know what? I mean, I think all these speakers, people don't realize you got to invest in yourself.
Absolutely.
I mean, I didn't get where I was, where I am, and where I'm going without having all these people behind me. And, I saw a motivational thing on TikTok this morning. This guy's talking about sales. And when you sell, it affects people behind you and families and other people. So what you should do when you're with somebody, you just pretend they're right behind you and they're cheering you on. And you will not let them down. You will not be defeated. You will not lose. And you're going to pick up a client. So I love you sharing those stories, Teresa. Give us an example of a client you've helped out. Obviously, don't mention their name. You can make up a name. Sure. But how did you doubled their business, you tripled their business, you kept retention. Give us one example so the people watching this really get who you are, because we may get people reaching out to me. Hey, that Teresa woman, she was on NRG this week. I need to reach her. How to reach her? But give us a testimonial for your company of how you've personally helped somebody.
Sure. I'll give you a story, and hopefully this will line up with what you're looking for.
Okay.
So a few months ago, I reached out to one of my higher ed clients, and we had a great conversation. On his bucket list was a visit to Iceland, and he said to me, give me a call when I get back from Iceland, and we'll have another conversation. So he was looking to do business with me. And I called him when he got back. He told me his entire story. He said he's got pictures on his Facebook and, and all this, right? So we had a great conversation. We set up a time to meet again. In the meantime, I grabbed a picture off his Facebook from Iceland, and I sent a card to him, thanking him for the opportunity to share what I do. And that I, just something very simple. It was nothing, elaborate. And so I sent off the card. And about 2 weeks later, before our meeting, I get an email from him that said, I wish I could do business with all the vendors out there. He said, and I'm sorry that I won't be able to do business with you right now. However, this is the best follow-up I've ever received, and your card is sitting on my desk.
Wow. Pretty cool. Great story.
Yeah.
Great story. All right, I'm going to move it over to NRG. You've been with me a short time.
Yep.
Ben referred you out. I don't think you were going to join right away.
Right.
You weren't planning on it. And my charisma won you over. I don't know. You and I talked. we definitely resonated at a high level. I've decided, Teresa, I'm going to bring my A+ game this year. I'm going to step up and bring more energy and call people out on things to help them out and be the servant leader that I am. What's your NRG testimonial so far? You've been with me short time. You're already one of my favorite people. I told Ben, I said, keep bringing me people like Teresa. I've got a lot of people in the organization. I hand select. And when I met you, I was like, I know I want her on NRG this week. So what would be your message? There's 3 kinds of people out there. They've been in a networking group without success. They've never been to a networking group, or maybe they're in college. They they don't even know what a networking group is. So
True.
what would be your message to people that maybe they've been in other groups and they have not performed well? What would be your NRG message, your testimonial? Take a couple minutes to explain that. Thank
Sure,
you.
absolutely. Again, as you said, you were referred to me by Ben Rusk, and
Yep.
Ben had nothing but wonderful things to say about you. Now, Ben is someone I know, like, and trust. We've had other conversations in the past. And then I also know that, I don't know, probably pre-pandemic, you might have had an in-person group here in Rochester or somewhere in the area, because it was called NRG. I don't know if that had anything, I believe it had something to do with you. And so anyway, people in that organization, and I also just, in my circle of people, yeah, you need to go, it's kind of like this. One person says, hey, that's a horse, right? And you're like, yeah, I don't think so. I don't think that's a horse. But listen, when 7 or 8 people say that's a horse, you better go buy a saddle, baby, because that's a horse. Okay.
Yeah,
You
there
start,
you go.
you start listening. And my experience was that I literally, from the moment that I came to visit. So that was a really great experience right there. Then, I immediately felt like very warm and welcomed, and and people were interested in what I did. I was interested in what they're doing, so it was very a mutual connection there all across the board. But then when I signed on and you started to connect me with people, and I thought, oh my gosh, these people are responding. They really want to connect. They really want to talk, and um, I'm like, wow. So in from the week after Thanksgiving until the 19th of December, um, because I was taking a couple of weeks off for the Christmas and New Year, I literally, in those 2 weeks, I think I had at least 21, 22 Zoom calls.
That's awesome.
And it's still going, right? Because
Yeah.
people were taking time off, etc. So it's still going. And what was really, for me, the icing on the cake was that I was also able to connect some of those people with my network.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you very much. All right, I've got 2 more questions. I'm going to give
Sure.
Leon a plug real quick. Leon's got a racquetballrevival.com. He works with kids of all ages, and there it is right on the screen. Thank you, Jay. And definitely reach out to Leon. Leon and I go back, we're now 26 years.
Oh.
I got married, Teresa's going to laugh, 81 days ago, and the Leon Thomas group videoed our wedding, and it's just been amazing watching the video. We got to watch it again, but Tanya's awesome. She's, beside my wife, she is also the VA for NRG. All right, Teresa, what have I not asked you? This is my favorite question. What have I not asked you that you'd like to take 2-3 minutes and talk about? It can be about you. It can be about your company. It can be about you and me working together, whatever you want. But I'm thinking mostly you and your company. Maybe there's something, a background product that you don't talk about all the time. This is your time. I love asking that question. Yep.
Absolutely. People often ask me, why did I hitch my wagon to Mailbox Power?
Good one.
Yeah. And the reason I did that is because they are built for business by business, and they continue to evolve rather than revolve. And that's really important. So when I say that, what I'm talking about is, what are they doing to help others grow their business, right? So recently they added something called an AI prospecting tool that people who have a membership with Mailbox Power can go ahead and implement and use. So, oh my gosh, do you want to buy a mailing list? We can help you do that as well. So, and also everything that is sent out through that company, there is no Mailbox Power branding on it, which I really love, because then whoever is doing the sending is the rock star, not the company that puts it all together for them.
Awesome. Very good. All right. So Leon and I always talk sports.
Oh, yeah.
My Ravens lost to the Steelers. The coach has been let go. A lot going on. You're in no, you're in New York. So
I'm in Rochester, New York.
who's your favorite sports team? Baseball, football, or basketball? Do you have a team that you like?
I love my Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
Okay.
Josh Allen. Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, he's going to be a daddy. That's so awesome. But I'm not one of those people that will sit and watch sports. I'm too antsy for that. But I do like to support my local teams, and I'm more into supporting um, you know, high school, college sports teams.
Okay, cool. You know what? I mean, the Bills have a shot at winning the whole thing. The Chiefs are out. The Ravens are out. There's a lot of upstart teams, new quarterbacks. So, my standpoint, if the Bills win this year, the Bills win. The Ravens are nowhere near in sight, so they'll be back by next year. They'll get a good coach and all that. So, Teresa, it has been an absolute pleasure having you on. Really enjoyed it. I will see you definitely by Friday. I know you're in the New York City group.
Yes.
So I will see you Friday. For everybody else, definitely come out to a meeting. We just had 2 people in the last month join from Spain and I believe New Mexico. I mean, it's going crazy. So reach out to me. I'll put my cell number again. It's 443-756-9656. And 2026 is going to be epic. Come out, meet the NRG family, meet Teresa, meet Mike Weiner, we got the extravaganza coming up. So I'm going to sign off for us, NRG this week. Thanks again, Teresa.
Thank you so much.
It's been a great time today. And on behalf of Leon Thomas and Jay and the Leon Thomas Group, this is Mike Weiner signing off. Have a great day. Prosperous week, and we'll see you next week for NRG this week. Thank you. Take care.